Hi, everybody. We're
Hey,
back.
hey, everyone.
Hi,
I'm so
Denise.
excited for this episode, Greg.
Yeah, this is going to be good. We've never talked about this really, just this. So,
Yeah,
what are
not
we
in
going to talk
depth.
about?
And this is, it's a subject that is close to my heart. I know it's close to your heart too. It's about learning organizing and organizing with children.
Mm.
So now, in case anybody doesn't know, I was a teacher for about 15 years, first grade and second grade. Love the little kids. And Greg,
Yeah.
what's your involvement with children?
My degree is music education, K through 12. I have worked with all levels of kids, and currently I conduct and I work musically with kids. And as an organizer, I've had children as my clients as well.
Right. And I love it when you tell us about your conducting with middle school choruses and choirs and stuff, and the energy that you bring forward into the whole thing. It always inspires me too. So I love to hear about that. But Greg and I both have a passion working with children just because there's so much energy in it.
Yeah,
And
it keeps you young.
yeah, for sure. For sure.
All the
So
parents right now are going, "Oh my God."
how are my kids ever gonna, oh my goodness, Rigby,
What are
my
you
poor
doing
kitty
back
cat,
there?
he has been inside now for 2 months and he's having a hard time with it. So
Oh,
anyway, that he's meowing away. But anyway, he's definitely healing and on the mend. This is his kind of playtime. But anyway, so what people automatically, as adults, a lot of times, Greg, I don't know if this is what happens to you, but people just say, I'm not organized. And it's kind of like full stop. I'm never going to be organized. You do it, get me organized, and I'll try to maintain it. And that's the end of that, right?
yeah, yeah.
But really, it's a
And
skill that,
they go. I just don't think that way. I don't think that way.
but you can,
Yes.
right? It's a skill. You can learn that skill. And so I just wanted to walk people through just a little bit of the thought process and how the whole thing works. So, like, as infants, you know, infants try to understand the world and they try to make sense of it, right? And so they see things and they naturally compare things. So for example, you take your baby or small child to the zoo and you see a lion for the first time, right? You see the lion and you go, I've never, in an infant's mind, never seen a lion before, but
Mm-hmm.
we have a dog that's furry with 4 legs. That's a really weird looking dog. Of course, they get it wrong naturally,
Right.
right? However, they did just categorize that as an animal similar because it's covered in fur and it has 4 legs and
Yeah.
it's got a tail,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
they're making connections and they're drawing conclusions in their little minds, and that's what they're doing all the time. They're always making things match. Sometimes they're either the same based on whatever criteria, or some things don't match and they're different in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
So what these are, they're all science process skills, and we want to help them develop that. Now, parents, you might be thinking, well, I don't know how to do any of that. Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
And we just want to offer, some just a little bit of education and some opportunities that you might be able to use at home with your own children to look at things a little bit differently and then to develop that skill in them at home.
Yeah.
So we start with classification, and that's the beginning of logical thinking about understanding relationships, seeing connections between things, which is the absolute core of math and science. Now, you might think, okay, math and science, that's school. Well, not necessarily. What do you do at home that's math and science related or has those skills? You sort laundry.
Mm-hmm.
You split the silverware up into separate slots in the drawer. And if
Mm-hmm.
you don't, you should be doing
yeah. Come
that.
on.
You put away paperwork in file cabinets. These are just some of the little ways that you do things that all of these sorting and classifying skills build up to.
And let me give you a little tip with the silverware in the dishwasher. Little math. You know those compartments? If you will put all the spoons in one and all the forks in one and all the knives in one, and you don't just throw silverware in, when it's clean, you pull out all the spoons and put them away. You pull out all the. It's life changing, people. So continue. Thank you.
Well, you're exactly right. And even the dishwashers now, they're making them so that you put them all together in those little teeny tiny slots so that
Yeah.
they don't nest together and
Yeah.
then don't get clean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they're making them that way to make your life easier.
Yeah.
So in order for you to teach sorting and classification skills, help your child notice similarities, help your child notice differences. So when they're little, you could say something like, "Ooh, that looks like grandma's cat. Doesn't that look like grandma's cat? Yes, you're right." Or that's like, or you see something else somewhere else. That's like something we have at home, isn't it? You can notice differences. Is that the same color as grandma's cat?
Mm-hmm.
These are just, and the child doesn't even need to answer. This is just dialogue. This is language that you're giving your child and
Yes.
allowing them to think. It's that simple.
My papa, we were looking in a magazine. In the back of the magazine, he go, "Well, looky here, son. See that hunting dog for sale? Who's that look like?" And I go, "Oh, I don't know, papa." He goes, "Yes, you do. That's old Blue. That's my hunting dog. It looks like my hunting dog." And he was just so like, "What's that look like?" That's excellent. It's exactly that. Yeah.
And people think that this kind of thing is so complicated in schools, and it's not. It's really
Yeah.
not. It's so easy. It's just about being mindful. That's a big buzzword lately. Being
Yeah. But
mindful, noticing those little things and drawing them out, putting language to it for your child. You can help your child or suggest that they order things from smallest to biggest or from
mhm.
lightest to heaviest or vice versa. You can ask them to put things into categories like colors. The
Colors would
smaller
be
they,
wonderful.
yeah, colors are very easy. And it's not always about the child being able to identify the color, being able to tell you that this is green or this is red. You can say to the child, let's put all the red ones here and you start, and then you can see if the child can contribute to that pile of red. They
Now,
might not be able to label red, but they may be able to identify that these colors are the same.
and if you've got little boys, I know it's more prevalent in boys than girls, is color blindness. And you can learn early on this way because my brother only sees red. He doesn't see the other colors well. And if he didn't see red, he'd have an issue driving. But internationally, red is always on top. It's okay. But I don't do blues and greens well. I mix blues and greens up. So I didn't know that until I took an eye test later in life. And this would be little ways to find out what your kids are doing. Are they always doing it backwards? Why are you always doing this backwards or whatever? Yeah.
Right. It's paying attention to those little things. Now, obviously, if a child is 2 or 3 years old and they're, doing things backwards, that's a normal thing.
Yeah.
It's just something to watch. It's something
Yeah.
that they grow out of. However, you do want to be the parent that is able to recognize, when you go into the preschool parent teacher conference and they say, oh, well, they do this backwards. Yep, I've noticed that. I've noticed that.
Yeah.
Or you could say, I have noticed that they don't know how to do such and such. And the teacher will say, that's not a concern yet, or that is a concern, let's watch it, or
That's
whatever.
great.
But
Yeah.
there are these just these little tiny things that you can do, these conversations you can have with them, doing everyday types of things. The smaller they are, the more factors you want to put into the sorting. So for example, if I wanted a child to sort things into colors, I don't want to have too many items of different sizes and shapes in all the different colors, because now their brain is going, oh my gosh, there's sizes, there's shapes,
Hmm.
there's textures, there's all this stuff. Try
Mm-hmm.
and sort things simply at the very beginning. That's why, hey, those toys that they used to make where you put the shape into the whole, or you match things up. That's why those things are so great.
Yeah.
Sorting M&Ms by color before they eat them.
Yeah.
An easy thing to do.
Yeah.
And then as they get older, you can allow your child to sort things by however they want to. So for example, I used to say to my kids when their playroom was a wreck, everything was all over the place. I would say, okay, what's the first thing that we can pick up that's going to make the biggest difference? Okay. A lot of times it was something like Nerf guns. Those always occupy a lot of space. Okay, let's get all of the Nerf guns, right? And so we'd collect all the Nerf guns. Okay, well, the Nerf bullets go with it.
Yeah.
So let's collect all of the Nerf bullets. And then we put things together like that. Do we want to keep the Nerf bullets with the guns, or do we want to have a separate bin for them? And let them choose. Okay, I'm not running around playing Nerf guns. They're running around playing Nerf guns with their friends. Is it easier to have the bullets in a bin, or is it easier to have them with the guns?
I love the idea of asking them, of questioning them. Let them answer. I do that in my rehearsals. I don't always just tell a choir, this is what I want. You're going to do this. Let's do this. I'll go, now wait. Let's talk about this right here. What would make this better? What could you do to make it better? And I think that's great with this is let them make decisions, and then they remember, oh yeah, that's what I want to do, so I'll remember to do it now.
Right. And you know what? Not only that, it makes them feel more independent. It makes them feel like, they can handle this. This is their stuff. They can handle it. And then when you come back and you say, what was it that you wanted to do with blah, blah, blah?
Yeah.
They're the expert.
Yeah.
You value their opinion. Who doesn't want that feeling?
Yeah.
I love it if someone wants my opinion about something as if I'm an expert about whatever.
Well, how fun if they're in your bedroom now and you go, now, Michael, is Daddy putting his things away the way you do down in the playroom? Can you help him? What could Daddy do to make that better? Because you know how to do it. Remember, down in the playroom. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Now, as they get older, things get a little bit more complicated, and that's fine. But again, this still just goes back to how do they want to do it? You can sort things in any way, shape, or form, color, shape, size, texture, whatever, function. You can do multi-stage classification. Like I said, with the Nerf guns, you could have the Nerf guns, then the Nerf bullets. Do we put it together? Do we take it apart? I have some clients that have a problem with what I call micro organizing, which, they're organizing, let's say, for example, their office supplies. And then they have those, those little tabs that you could stick to mark a page, those Post-it notes well, they had those separate from the bigger Post-it notes, separate from the bigger Post-it notes. But then she had them separated by color into teeny tiny little bins. And I said, is there a reason to have it also sorted by color? Because it's easy enough to just look into one little bin, pull out purple if you want purple, and go. Do you have to have them in 8 little bins? So, micro organizing isn't necessarily helpful. So that's you have to determine what is good for you for multi-stage classification.
Yeah,
But
that would make me not. Yeah, that might make me not want to do it. You look at it, and go, wow, this is complicated. I don't even know.
Exactly.
And then fearful of doing it wrong. Am I doing it wrong? And now I'm not pleasing, the parent. I don't know. It just gets in your head.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But it all, and that's the thing that I have about, the doing it wrong, with all of the organizing shows that are on TV with, everybody's pantry that has every label on it and all that. It just, people just don't want to organize because it's not going to look like that. And I want to tell people, most people's houses don't look like that.
No. I really take pride in just making things the goal, I always tell my clients, the goal is so that you know what you have. When you walk in the room, it may not be perfect, it may not every bin matches or whatever. It doesn't matter. I want you to go in and go, I know what I own. I know what I have. I know what I don't have. I know what I need. I can look in here and know. I'm not
Right.
walking into the room and going, I have no. It's like a playroom. You go, I don't even know what toys are in here because they're all out.
Well, right. And like, how expensive is that to have that happen in your pantry? How much money do you end up wasting
Yeah.
when your pantry is like that, for
Yes.
sure?
Well, and
So,
I had a parent last week. She mentioned, when the room gets to look like this with my kids, they don't even come down here anymore because it's overwhelming. She goes, that's why I want this to be better.
well, and that says something about consumption too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But
Each consume.
it's funny, and I'm sure you're going to recognize this one. That starts teaching organizing skills right from the very beginning. One of these things is not like the other.
Mm-hmm,
Remember that
mm-hmm,
one from Sesame
mm-hmm,
Street? Yeah,
mm-hmm,
it's all about three things are the same, one thing's different, put together the things that are the same,
mm-hmm.
whatever it might be. Is it first aid supplies? Is it kitchen supplies? I used to do that when we would come home from the grocery store with my kids, and I would say, I would take out a box of Band-Aids and I would say, okay, go put this in the kitchen. And they would look at me like, why would I put it in the kitchen? Because they had already learned that's not where we would use the Band-Aids. The
Uh-huh.
Band-Aids would be up with the other stuff that,
Yeah.
when I get
The
hurt.
bathroom or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that kind of thing. Or,
Yeah.
you hold up an apple and say, okay, go put that in the bathroom. And they, what are
Yeah.
you talking about, mommy?
That's wrong.
But, as they get older, there are other games, card games, fantastic for organizing because a lot of games, Go Fish, Uno and stuff,
Hmm.
Rummy, put things together by suit or by number. You could either do sequencing 2, 3, 4, 5, or you can bring all hearts together or whatever. That's it. The household tasks we mentioned. Finding sets of things like I was helping a family unpack, finding sets of things around the house. I was getting the little girl's art area together, but I was finding markers all over the place.
Yeah.
So as I found the markers, they would all get funneled down to that little art place.
So, do you remember in Texas on a hoarder
I didn't go
shoot?
to Texas.
Yes, you did.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't go to Texas.
Oh,
That was the one I didn't go on.
really? Oh my gosh. Well, anyway, you missed the heat. But on that particular shoot, we had to go find tires. And we had to go on this huge property and re-roll tires. They were everywhere, and we rolled them and we lined them up. Yeah.
Right. And
So
you know what? Even though the one that we just went on in California, there were a lot of tires, and you don't know how many tires they are until you get them all together. But
yeah,
every tire was very, very important
yeah.
until all of a sudden you get them together and you go, oh my God, I had 200 tires around this property.
It's a closet. It's like this with every client and their closet. When you pull it out and you put it on the bed and you start sorting, it's like, oh, that's in my closet. I go, yes, you have all of this in your closet. And
Right.
it's overwhelming. Yeah. So, and you start sorting.
Well, and you know what? I always like to say too that, what a wonderful, lucky problem for you to have
Yeah.
that there's abundance in your home.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's that kind of thing. So another thing I just wanted to mention, so if you're finding sets of things and you want to put things together, sets of crayons, packs of soda, salt and pepper shakers, that would go with spices and things like that. Teach your kids how to make patterns. Patterns are crucial in identifying things, particularly as you get older in life. In
Books.
school, go ahead.
Books.
Absolutely. There are organizing books for children. I don't happen to know the names of them offhand, but you can look them up. But there are organizing books for children. But you can sort things into categories too. A lot of books do. What kind of animals live on a farm? What kind of animals live in the forest? And these are things that as kids get older in school, that's the kind of classifying that they do, right? Or biologists, these are mammals, these are fish,
Yeah.
these are amphibians, whatever. So you can talk about photos. Like once you're going through photos, you can look at people in them and say, okay, well, this person is in our family, this person is not in our family, that kind of things.
Mhm.
Let's see, puzzle cards like laser maze, tumble tracks, and snap circuits. You can do counting bears. Hearts and holes, you can put out several different containers and their lids and have the kids match the containers with their lids, especially if you have too many and you need to get
Uh,
rid of them.
Tupperware and your pots and pans. Let the kids put all that, get that organized for you. Yeah, that'd be a great game.
Well, and a nice rainy day game, if you have too many lids or that don't have pots or pots that don't have lids, take them out, turn them into a drum set and let them have at
I did that. The pot
it.
lids are great symbols, and then you get a wooden spoon and the metal. Oh yeah, I did that. My mom had a pot and pan drawer that was deep, and everything was just in there. It was haphazard, but it was all in there, and I'd pull that out. Yeah, that's great.
So now, you can have older children put things in order as well. Like as a teacher, I used to have the kids sort themselves from shortest to tallest, put themselves in order by their birthdays, by month. Rock, paper, scissor is a matching game. If you play that game, we used to call it 20 questions. Sometimes they call it animal, vegetable, or mineral. That's another classifying game. I Spy. Scattergories is another one. You know, you have a category, name as many things as you can in this category that start with R or whatever. Another one we did was fun. A child would put an item in a bag, close up the bag, and then the kids had to ask questions about what was in the bag, and the
Oh
kids
yeah.
they had to try and guess what was in there. And this, I think, this one is called Farmer, Farmer, May We Cross, which might be like Red Rover. I'm not really sure because we never played Red Rover. So the kids say, Farmer, Farmer, may we cross? And then the farmer who's on the other end of the field says, yes, blue, come over. And anybody wearing any blue can come over.
Oh, okay.
Any March birthdays can come over.
Okay.
That kind of
Now,
thing.
the along those lines, in my rehearsal, I will ask a question, and I don't care how big the choir is, we'll do this. One would be, what's your favorite color? And everybody goes and they name their very favorite colors. And it's really interesting because a lot of them go, like a lot of the kids don't know each other. I'll do choirs that the kids don't know each other. And they'll go, oh, you like green? Oh, you like blue? You know? And then I go, well, now all the greens get together, all the blues get together, all the yellows get together, and they have to go get in their groups. And I might give them one question they have to ask each other, and they get to know each other. Another one that I do is they have to line up in birthday order of the day and the month, and they can't talk. They only do it. Nope, no lips reading or anything. They can only do it physically to get in line and get in order.
Oh
And
my
then
gosh.
it's really cool. I've done it with 300 kids.
Oh my gosh. I was
They're
going to ask you to do it for over
silent,
100 kids.
they're silent, they're quiet, and they're focused, and they're trying to get organized and in their birth order. Yeah, it's neat.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's really neat.
And it's great when you can do a kinesthetic activity like that too, particularly with middle school students, because they
Oh
definitely
yeah.
want to move
Yeah.
for
Well, they're
sure.
all talking and loud. It's really great. Just like, hey, we gotta just get out of our seats and not
Right.
talk.
And focus.
And focus. Yeah, focus
Yeah.
on something else. It's not music. Okay, we're running out of time. This was a long one today.
Oh my gosh. Let me just give this one resource. I did
Yes.
find a website called sabrinasorganizing.com. She's a member of NAPO, which is the National Association of Productivity and organizing professionals. She has listed some games for older kids like Pick Up Sticks, Barrel Full of Monkeys, Headbands, Tetris, non-video games available. Sorted Out and Canoodle, which is like a 3D tangrams for those that know who it is. But anyway, she has ideas on there as well for helping kids learn organizing skills. So you might want to check out sabrina'sorganizing.com. But I mean, as you can probably tell, for me and for Greg, this is just such an exciting topic. We just love it. Love getting kids excited about
And
organizing and
begin
doing activities.
early. Like
Yeah.
anything, begin early. Don't wait. Begin early. And it's never too late to begin.
It's never too late, and it's an ongoing thing. It doesn't need to be sit down and let's learn how to do this.
No.
It's let's just do it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Driving
A little bit.
along, find all the street signs and read all the street signs once they could read.
Do a scavenger. I gave my neighbor, she was going, what am I going to do with my kids? I said, here's a game. Go out in the neighborhood and they do a scavenger hunt, but it's only visual. So now we have to look for redbirds. Now we got to look for a blue mailbox. Now we got, whatever, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And they don't have to do anything but write it down, or you make a list and they check it off.
Right. Or what's sorry, Greg, but this is how they do it now. They take a picture of it with their phone.
Well, how
Welcome
nice,
to the 21st century, Greg.
but how nice maybe not to use your phone. Like, we're leaving our phones at home.
True.
And we're just going to look around and we're not going to have any technology. But yeah, you can use your phone. I was just in a bingo thing and they took a picture of the bingo card to prove it and not instead of bring the bingo card up. Take a picture of it and bring it up. So, it's all about.
How nice to not use your phone. Okay, Fred Flintstone.
Well, we love you guys. We hope this was helpful.
Yeah, we definitely enjoyed this topic, and we hope you did too. And we hope that you can use it in your homes.
Please, if you like this, share it. Put it on your own social media and give us a question, or if you have ideas, post them down below. We'll look at them and we'd love it.
Yeah, that's great. Next week, we'll be chatting with a friend of ours who has some children, and we'll see what kind of thoughts she has about organizing at home.
Absolutely. All right.
All right, terrific.
See you later. Thank you,
Bye,
everybody.
everybody.
Move forward.